Okay, so I did the Raider calendar ad through StreetText as just the lead ad. And
Yes.
it, I mean, just I think it's just giving away free stuff. Like people just eat it up, right? So it went out. It's at now 31 cents a lead.
A phone number, right? 31
Yes,
cents a phone number. That's insanity.
I know, and it keeps getting better every day. But basically they're clicking on it and they're filling out the name, phone number, email. And then I did direct them to the home value page so they could put their address in, but a lot of them are bypassing that and just staying right there. So I created a template and Follow Up Boss for the email and text.
Yep.
I sent an email and text out, basically just thanking them for, requesting a Raider calendar. Let me know where I can send it. And then, if they ever want to buy or sell, I'm here and stuff like that. So, and oh my gosh, out of,
Yeah, how many leads do you have on that? I'll share it with everybody right now
yeah, you can
because it can
share
give
that.
you ideas for your own area. Think about the big sports team in your area and show what Wendy's doing here. Even if you're not a sports fan, guys, think about it. There are a lot of sport fans out there. So it's a smart idea if you're near a big environment with sports people.
Right. So 137 people actually made it into Follow Up Boss. So I don't know if that differs from what you see on StreetText, but these are the ones that we've worked. And then if I click on address not empty, I have 87. So 87 people sent me their address. So I have full emails, phone numbers, addresses. And then we went in and looked in the tax record to see if they were the owner. If they were, we set them up on HomeBot, sent out their calendar. And if they were not the owner, we did a drip keep in touch that we do for our renters.
That's brilliant.
So, buyer campaign. So yeah, and it's like
now think about how brilliant that is for you, Wendy, because specifically check out your last What's Your Home Really Worth ad. Figure out what your average cost per phone number is there and what it takes for you to get it, even any information with that. And you basically just 10x'd it, right? Because you were probably spending maybe 20.
Yeah, my regular one that I usually am running, I'm not going to do that one. That was the out of state. Oh, this one right here. So, 21,
well, while you're figuring that out,
$21 an email.
while you're figuring that out, check this out. So this is Wendy's lead ad that she created, and any one of you guys could create this. Now, let's check this out. Las Vegas Raider, Vegas Golden Knights magnet calendars are here. Send us your address if you want one. Super easy. Look at all these people liking it and commenting on it. Look, 24 comments, 4 shares. When I click on it, how can I reach you? There's my name, my full name, my phone number. Next, submit. To get your free calendar and home's value, click here. Where does it take me? Oh, I can submit my address. So that's what she was saying here is an opportunity to get it. Now double check that. I'm just seeing something that could be the reason why you're not getting it. It's because it's stopping here. I'll do a quick refresh to see if that's the case. Let's see.
Yeah, because we're getting some, but we're not getting others.
Yeah, that could be an issue right there. That's so.
Why would it do that?
I don't know. Work with Logan on that. He'll figure it out for you. But that could be why I just clicked on it. But we'll figure.
I actually like the reaching out for the address because then I can give them a little bit more information.
Well, exactly. So here's what you're doing. You're clicking edit funnel. And you said you had your follow-up boss there, but let's check out the stats on this. You've got 116 leads at 50 cents a phone number because that's a lead ad. So brilliant call to action when you compare it to the last home value ad that you ran. This is a great way to give value off the bat and then work around and put them into a home value scenario. Now, obviously, a lot of people are not, just want the Raider magnet, but it's building a database. It's building a database, and your brand is front and center.
Right.
Who did you have?
And I'll be on their refrigerator all year.
Look at your little nail right there. I can see your little. That's you holding it with your picture. So that's great too, because it's not like a perfect little
Stop.
thing. It's got your, your little picture there, a magnet, your red
I know. And
nail.
look at that comment. I received mine. They already received it, and they're
Thank
saying,
you. It's awesome. I appreciate the time you took to send it out. I know if anyone looking or to buy or sell, I will definitely send them your way. Thank you again. Look at that. I mean, that's amazing.
"Old."
I
Yeah.
wish I would have knew about this when I was doing my magnets. It's a great idea.
Who'd you have print them, Wendy?
Magnet USA.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, they do a great job. And we usually do Golden Knight. So I did order some Raider Golden Knight ones just because. Marcus, did you get yours? Because I sent yours.
I will check the
You
mail.
better check your mail. Yeah.
Okay.
You
I
were
will.
on
It'll
my
be
radar
on
list.
the fridge. You're gonna send it internationally. I appreciate you.
Wait.
But think about it
No.
for you guys, right? Like you all have your sports team. That's a perfect thing to do. I mean, how fast can you build a database? And Las Vegas is extremely competitive for ad spend and ad space. So that's brilliant. I know all of you are thinking about it right now because you can do it, and Logan will help you. I'm just gonna put him on the spot.
Yeah, Marcus, I did mine. I just did Instagram Live and Facebook Live videos. And then I got tons of people asking for me to mail them out. Then I did what Wendy did. I looked up their address, see who's on title, who's not. And then I also went to the games, and I have a jersey that says LA Realtor on the back where the nameplate is.
That's cool.
When I got home later that night, some guy Instagrammed a picture of me. He's all, dude, thanks for the magnet. I saw you at the game. So I'm like,
Ah,
I've been doing this for like 4 years as far as the magnets go, but I love what you did. I got to do that next year. I think it might be I'm out of magnets, number one. So I don't know how long it
And
takes
you
to
play
get more.
guitar too, so use that. Maybe you should learn the Monday Night Football theme song.
oh my God, that would be awesome.
Hey Logan,
I wanna
figure
do
out on Wendy's ad why it's not redirecting, in that sense. But it's still working for her, but that redirect link stops on the address submission.
Wendy,
Right. And yes.
are you doing this with a custom ad, or are you doing it with like the what's my home worth?
No, I'm doing it with the lead ad.
Okay.
It's just called lead ad. And it's like one of the number one things, like when you pull up the best ads, it's one of those.
It's
So-
yeah. Maybe you can do a quick video on how you built it and throw it in the insider group.
I
Oh, you did?
actually have one. So I can post it in the chat here if you want. It's in
Thank
BombBomb,
you.
so I can put a link in there. But
Yes, idea. Thank
It's so genius. It's the start of the football season. We all want it.
right. And Richard, like if you do it this way, it's so much easier because everything's funneling already into your CRM, which makes it so much less work.
Yeah.
Like literally we're just going in and sending out the text and email if we don't get their address, which is on a lot of them, and then going from there. But I mean, I know I'm trying to keep up on these people posting on my post, and it's like, just click the button because then I don't have to do that much work. But
quick question, did you create that in like Canva, or where did you create that magnet?
no,
you ordered
it's
it from Magnets USA, but how did you get
Magnets USA does your design. So like
Oh,
they have the calendar, you send them your picture, your logo, everything.
except I'm in San Diego and I don't have a team, so I was gonna do
San
like
Diego.
I
Chargers.
know.
No, Chargers are now LA.
Oh,
So
I'm a little behind.
You got baseball. You got the
I was
Padres.
gonna do
there.
high school. I know.
You
but
got
baseball's
professional baseball, right? And you got
almost gone.
what's that?
It's
It's almost done.
So what about the high school? I was gonna do the high school football team, like varsity and JV.
Well, because
Yeah,
you are running a 15-mile radius though, so remember
Oh.
that.
Yeah, never
Right.
mind.
You gotta think about-
Magnet USA probably don't have the schedules. Like they
Right.
already have these.
I was thinking I would just do like create it in Canva, but
Right.
anyway.
Yeah, you could just create a list, like go in Canva and like create like a PDF or something with it and do it. You could do it manually. It'd be the same thing.
But like he just said, it's a 15-mile radius. So I don't know that everybody cares about Torrey Pines High School football.
I would do San Diego State.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
Now we're
good.
talking.
Go Aztecs.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, that would be good. And they probably have that schedule. And I know,
People
yeah,
like
you
their
can do
college
it in
football.
Canva, but I mean, these are like high quality, thick with a magnet, and then it has Monday Night Football on the back.
See, this is my type of mastermind. We get to mix sports in with real estate. It's awesome.
Mine too.
So and it's, yeah, it's, I don't know. You can do it in Canva and send it off to be a magnet. I don't know.
Just remember, guys, this is just to bring like the idea is this 10x is your ability to spend money on Facebook and get a database built. You know, that 50 cent full name and phone number, in many cases, you turn that into the address as well. That's brilliant. I mean, you can't find a cost per lead like that anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. And this is in a competitive area where her average cost per phone number with some of those What's Your Home Really Worth ads are like, what, 25, 50 bucks at sometimes?
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
Yeah. So just a smart, innovative idea. Anyways, we'll move beyond that because that was awesome. Who else has got some shares?
Marcus, I've got one. And I'm probably going to have to send Leon a referral fee or at least a bottle of cheap wine. But we got a response from one of our StreetText leads. They've been in the pipeline for about 6 months. They responded to our updated home value video that we sent out through HomeBot. Listed the property last night, $1.2 million. We'll have multiple offers by the end of the weekend. But the response on the video has been great. So I would encourage anybody that hasn't recorded that video specifically about updating your home value, especially in light of what's happened to the market in the last 6 months to a year. Again, response rate is off the chain.
Oh my gosh, let's see it. If you want to post that into the group, I'll put it in the announcement section so everybody can see it. That's brilliant.
Good morning. I'm Wendy.
How do I only rate a bottle of cheap wine for $1 million listing?
Make it
There's
2 bottles.
incremental. After the second one, Leon, the rewards get better.
That's awesome.
I picked up a listing off of Leon's tip too. So thanks Leon. So that was actually a StreetText lead I had last year that I sold his primary residence. Stayed in touch with him all through the year. He had 2 duplexes to sell. And I had reached out to him earlier this year for a client appreciation event a couple months ago and stayed reconnected with him. But he responded to that video and he was like, yeah, send me home values for those 2 duplexes. And then last week he hit me up and was like, okay, I'm ready to sell. So they're fixer housing with tenants. I found a buyer that will take them with the tenants and he'll take the risk for getting them out. So double ending the deal. So
wow. Great job.
Wow. Nice job.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've got one listing that I'm selling theirs and they're buying some land to build. And I've got 2 more appointments I'm trying to square away for next week. So this is just one of those things where I always tell the whole group, we're always worried about getting new leads, but work your old ones. And it doesn't matter if the guy came in last week. They don't know that you don't do an annual valuation every year. You're just saying it's that time of year. So pull them in, get it.
That's awesome. It's true, Ira. It just shows the value of database. Keep building it and keep reaching back.
I mean, what Wendy just did in terms of adding just numbers to her database. Like now when she does that home value thing Jeff and Curtis are already seeing the rewards of that, but that's because their database had enough people in it to hit on the ones that the timing was right for. So whatever creative ways you can find to get people into your database, it is a numbers game at the end of the day. If you're consistent with those numbers in your database, it pays off. So it's just really about, that just goes to show the power of that.
Yeah, and Ira, just to piggyback on that, I think it's important, especially for the newer people, it's not about immediate gratification. It's, those are long shots. When your first lead comes in, you end up listing and selling it. The majority of the leads that we've converted have been in our pipeline for in excess of 4 to 6 months. Now I'm only about 8 or 9 months into the system, but it was a good 90 to 120 days before we actually started seeing results with some of those leads that had been aged for 60, 90 days.
such an important word there. I'm already like, someone Shay on here. Do you have that soundbite? we need to keep that message, because I think that's what ends up. I always say it's like whiplash. Like if you're in a car, you put your foot on the gas. We gotta mute somebody. So you put your foot on the gas, you're excited about where you're heading, and then you don't get the result right away. So you take your foot off the gas, and then you put your foot back on the gas. And a lot of us just end up with a lot of whiplash with this type of lead generation, where if you just put your foot on the gas, keep filling your database and don't take your foot off the gas, just play the game consistently long term, you're going to get a lot further. You're not going to be as frustrated, and you won't have whiplash. So it's like really just about that consistent long-term game. I said that's a huge win. So if you're taking notes, write what Jeff said just down there.
And when I look at the numbers, and you think of, again, we were talking yesterday on the LCA event about 1% being kind of that bare minimum. A blind squirrel finds a nut every so often, and the expectation is 1% closing percentage should be our absolute bare minimum, with the understanding that I'd say 10% is absolutely attainable, right? What that means is 10 out of every 100 leads you get, they should be homeowners, home buyers, people who are actually ready to make a move. It's not that they're all going to come to life right away. They're in there. For every 100 leads you get, there's at least 10 people in there that are ready to make a transaction. Can we get to them on time? Can we get to them the right way? And like Ira was saying, consistency with everything, consistency with the ads, consistency with your follow-up, consistency across the board. And then all of a sudden what you'll find is that those 10%, they're in there. The 6 to 8% are, I'd say, absolutely attainable, with 3% being that, if you do the bare minimum of work, 3% should happen. If you do nothing, 1% should still happen. So our goal is to get to 100 leads. For every 100 leads you get, you should easily be able to close 1% without doing a whole lot. So do more, be more consistent, get up to 3%, do more, be more consistent, get up to 6 to 8%. There's more in there. It's all about, again, remaining high in terms of your activities and making sure that you're doing something for all levels of leads. It's really, there's something to do for everything.
I'm going to piggyback on that. We did an event with Melissa Grasso yesterday in the LCA event. And what I wanted to share with you was what I noticed from her is her note taking. And it's just going to take a second to load here, and I'll wait for a second. But Melissa, if you're here, oh, there you are, and you want to mute yourself. The brilliance that I see for you, similar to Jennifer Salter, is that you really leverage not only note taking, but you track everything. And so you're not going to let an automation begin the conversation with anybody, even if it's including video. It included multiple videos. You're going to go in there and you're going to send it whatever which way possible to make sure that's 100% open, watched, viewed, that they're going to get that value. And then you're going to follow up with some people, and I don't know how many, with a Starbucks card and a thank you note that's handwritten. And I think that in itself is why you've gotten a dozen deals from StreetText.
For sure. It's that personal touch, I think, that helps. And, so many things go into people's junk mail. So that card just kind of makes sure that if it did go into their junk, that they got what they received. So, and then it's time of the essence. So I got to be good about getting it out. Like once I do the video, I try to send it out that day. If it's a hot lead, or you'll go broke sending too many of those out. You got to kind of feel it out. You don't want to just send a $5 gift card to everyone. I guess if you have the budget, but
walk us through that a little bit, like in your process. So a lead comes in, what is the lead that you're going to start creating that experience for? Is it just minimum email, or are you looking at doing full complete leads? How does that kind of work for your process?
So it depends. Like when I look it up at the tax record, you can kind of tell if someone's in the high zone of wanting to sell, like it'll show like a score. And so the higher end ones, I do send out the card with the Starbucks card, because it shows in the realist that, maybe they're thinking of selling. Could be a refinance too. So what I've done is I've referred people to lenders too sometimes, but then I'm still top of mind and I refer them to that lender, and hopefully they'll think of me when they sell. But if I've had any interaction with the client where they've watched my video, I make sure that I send the card out. Even if I haven't gotten interaction, like I said, if I see that in the realist and I'm looking, and maybe it's been 3 or 4 years since they've owned the home, sometimes I take a risk and send the card out. But I've had great success with that little $5 gift card. People appreciate it. It's kind of a different thing to do. And everyone likes Starbucks.
So you're gonna send, so you're gonna see if they interacted with that video, and and this is the video where you're walking them through that market value at the moment.
Correct.
So how are you? What's the kind of script you're using, or are you presenting with screen share? What are you doing to walk them through that value?
I do the screen share. I kind of copied off of a little bit of Wendy and Jennifer Salter, kind of just put it into my own style. I do need to get my videos shorter though. And I'm going to start working on that because my videos are like, I tend to talk too much, and they're close to 4 minutes. And I think that's just a little bit too long for people in this, no one has an attention span. So I'm going to try to shorten that up to under 3 minutes, 2 minutes, if I can, just to get them what they need. But I try to walk them through kind of market conditions a little bit too, like what's going on in the market while I do that value. So I'm providing that kind of value as well, because we've seen a little bit of a shift in the market. It's kind of evening out a little bit. It's not dropping by any means, but it's evening rather than shooting.
And so what you'll do is you'll see if they've opened and engaged it and watched it.
Correct.
And then from there, you'll follow up with a piece of mail, or how does that work?
Yeah, I follow up with a piece of mail. So I'll send, thank you for watching my video, or send it. But if someone hasn't engaged with it and I go on the reel list and I see that they're in the high end and there's things that are signaling to me that they might be thinking of selling and they're interested, then I'll send them that Starbucks card like, hey, by the way, I sent you this video. Make sure that it didn't go to your junk or or check your inbox for this date and this email. It was sent on this day. So that way, if it did go in the person's junk, they can go in there, and I've had success with that, where I've noticed that they went back in and started watching the video and looked at my value. So that way I make sure that they open it.
And so how many Starbucks cards do you think you've sent over the time with StreetText?
Oh, a lot. I mean, I try to do probably $100 a month in Starbucks cards.
Starbucks cards. And you have done how many deals with StreetText in total?
So 14, because I had the 11 listings since July 2020, and then 3 buyers came as a result of that. A lot of my people moved out of state. And I just got a listing. It's a coming soon listing I signed the other day. And again, I saw on BombBomb that he went back in, he re-engaged with my values. So it was Labor Day. I said, hey, happy Labor Day, just checking in. Do you have any market questions for me? And he was like, oh my God, it must've been meant to be. Like you emailed me right when my wife and I were talking about putting the house on the market. I got the appointment and I just listed it last night, coming soon status. And they're buying a brand new home. So hopefully I can get that end as well.
That's huge. And just so you guys know, that is key. If I'm looking at our contacts, I'm not going to share the screen because I don't want to show anybody's address. Shay made me aware of that yesterday. But I see bullet points with the follow-up notes. So she knows where she left off with them, what she sent, what type of conversation they had. And I find when you're leveraging StreetText that way, you're more likely, I don't know, that seems to be a direct relation to your ROI. Because how do you know if otherwise? So make sure you are tracking and taking notes, and making sure at the end of the day that this, whatever you're sending is being engaged.
Right. And then I'll put that if I send a Starbucks card or I didn't, sometimes I'll just send a card without the Starbucks card. You know what I mean? So I'll put that note in there. So if I didn't, then maybe on the next time, if they opened it up, I'll send them a thank you with the Starbucks card. But your CRM is really nice because when you put a note in there, it automatically dates it for you. So I like that because I don't have to input a date like a lot of CRMs do. It automatically dates the date that I took those notes, and then I know exactly where I am with the client. So it's helpful. I like it.
Awesome. Anyone have any questions for Melissa to dissect her process a little bit more? We had an entire mastermind or a lab code agent event with her yesterday.
One thing I was gonna sit there, we love piggybacking. On my text going out, I have sat there and told people to go ahead and check their spam. When I tell them I send an email, I sit there and say, if you don't see it, please check your spam and let me know. I'm getting more opens from that.
I agree. The text is good too if you have a phone number.
Yeah, and who from the previous masterminds, we were challenging a few of you to step it up and do some video texting. Anybody take that challenge?
That's on my list of things to do for today. 10. I have 10 on my to-do list.
Do it. Video text.
Do it.
It's free.
Hey, Marcus, just had a chance to join one idea for telephone numbers for anybody who has their MLS has Remind. Remind has very, very accurate information for homeowners, both email addresses and telephone numbers. We found them to be quite accurate, and that's a free source if it's part of your MLS.
That's awesome. We're switching to them as well. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
You said
when
KB Core?
No,
No, I
Renline.
said Remind. Remind, which is the backside of a lot of the MLSs, has a function where you can pull up home values, and it will give you everything, including the people's information with anything they've got for telephone numbers or names and email addresses. So we found a lot of stuff through there, at least through ours. Now, I don't know how it operates in every state, but where I'm at in Georgia, they're able to reveal that information because we don't have privacy laws against it.
Great stuff. Awesome. Let's keep it going. Any more shares?
I've got a couple of exciting wins that have happened.
Go for it, Jean.
And it's been a while since I've been able to get on here, so I'm excited to be back. So we have actually a closing that is happening right now, which I tell you what has been one of the most stressful things to get across the finish line, but it is finally closing today. And that one was a referral from a StreetText lead that we actually sold earlier in the year. That one StreetText person has referred a total of 5 other sellers to us. And so now we've got these other deals in the pipeline that are listed because of that, which is, the referral part is amazing. That's what we really like to see, especially in our small rural area that we work in. So this month, including the double-sided deal we're closing today, we've got 5 closings, which is essentially going to double our sales for the entire year in 1 month. And of those 5, they are all somehow related to StreetText, whether they came in through StreetText or they were referred by StreetText. So it's really been kind of an amazing month. And one thing that we're seeing right now, I actually pulled down our home value ad again, just because I was getting inundated and I need to be able to make sure I'm getting to people on time. But I've got ads going for 2 of our current listings that are just a little bit unique. And so we're targeting some different markets with a lead ad for those specific listings. And we have been getting buyer interest off of that. Now, they didn't want the one that we already have listed, but we just had, I would say in the last week, 3 buyers that are pre-qualified, that know what they're looking for, that now have decided that they want to work with us to search for homes just because of that one ad that they saw on Facebook, which is also really exciting. So we're kind of diversifying a little bit is what it feels like. So we're at 4 closed StreetText deals, 3 closed StreetText referral deals, and we've got another 4 in the pipeline, plus 2 more buyers that came in today that we're now working with. So it's been a big, busy couple of months. And again, I say this all the time, we don't do a whole lot of other advertising other than StreetText, because everything else that we have tried has not generated the same results. These lead ads for the current listings that we have right now, or maybe buyers ads, you'll call them, I don't know exactly what they're called. They're less than $1 per lead right now. So it's like we don't, and even when I have the home value ads up, typically those hover in like the $2 to $3 range, which is phenomenal. And we don't get value like that from anything else. And since it's just the 2 of us and I can't get overwhelmed, it's really the only thing that we have to do in order to keep ourselves extremely busy, which is awesome.
Jean, that's so awesome. I was going to say, I think a lot of people don't know this, but this success didn't just happen for you. You were with StreetText for a year before this all just kind of came, right? So you experienced StreetText a little bit differently in the first year. Maybe walk us through quickly what you learned in the first year and what's happening, why you're getting all the success now.
Yeah, absolutely. So we joined StreetText in, I want to say it was February of 2020. It was before all of the crazy ramped up last year. And at that time, I worked full time. I do all the admin stuff for our business, but I worked full time for another company. And so real estate was my side gig, and my husband is the one who actually goes out and he's meeting with all the people and all of that. So we had, I think, 2 deals in 2020 from StreetText, which was awesome because just the one paid for the entire year for us. So it was 100% worth it. But then when my main job got moved to work from home status, I was able to multitask more evenly and start ramping up the StreetText a little bit more and make sure we're getting ads out there on a consistent basis. And it's really, that's the bulk of what we do, is just that what's your home value. And then when we've got kind of a interesting listing, we'll put out a buyer ad for that one too. And those are the only 2 ads that we've run. We really don't change it up too much because we found that that's what gives us success. And we really make sure that we take the time to personalize it. So if I have an email address and that person requests their value, they get a full length valuation video where I go over, you know, their home and the comps, and I show them, you know, exactly what the market is doing right now and how that affects their value. So we go very in depth for basically everybody, even if they're just curious. And I tell them that in the video, it's totally fine that you're just curious. We just want you to have this information so that you have it in your back pocket. And even if it's not for 6 more years, whenever you're ready, you can call us. We're going to be here for you. If you have questions in the meantime, there's no obligation. Just call us up. We're happy to help. And I think that, again, it's a small town, rural area. So having that mentality of, we just want to be seen as the resource in the area that people can go to for trusted information where they feel like they're going to be taken seriously. Because a lot of the feedback we've gotten from a lot of our clients has been, they haven't been taken seriously elsewhere. Maybe their budget isn't super high, or they aren't really sure if they want to sell, but they're kind of thinking about it. Well, then nobody spends the time with them because, oh, well, you're not committed to selling, so why would I spend my time with you? And we're just happy to spend our time with anybody and make sure that we're helping out in our area. All of this has culminated to about 2 months ago. I was actually able to leave my full-time 40-hour-a-week turning my hair gray job and focus specifically on doing real estate for our business, which has been really, really exciting. And I feel like I'm a whole new person now because I'm not pulling my hair out trying to do everything at once. So, and I absolutely credit what StreetText brings to the table for me being able to actually fulfill my dream of being able to pull back from a corporate job and run our business full time. So it's been really, really exciting.
Thanks for sharing, Jean. That's amazing. So encouraging too. It just shows you, like, you know how the power of that database exponentially builds. You know, Jean, how many of these current transactions and deals were results of your first year of leads?
I have at least 2 of them that I never heard anything from for like 6 or 8 months. They were just getting the automated follow-up. Now, I did go into that home valuation automation and I personalized all those emails. So I think all but 1 actually has a video that goes with it. And that really has made a big difference. We hear all the time how much people really love the video. They love the personal touch. And especially with the valuations, I think that helps. I did notice, and this was one thing, I used to send the valuation video and a report to go with it. And the video wasn't being opened as frequently as I would like to see. So I stopped sending the report and I just sent the video. And now the video views have gone up because people are like, oh, an attachment. I don't need to read anything that's in the email. I'll just click on the document and see what they said, but then they don't get the full experience. So I've pulled back on the report and have just been doing the videos, which are really more encompassing. They're more in depth than just a piece of paper is. So that has been a good thing. But that consistent, I love the automation portion of it because it's a set it and go. And I treat it as a set it and go because I would say 98% of the leads that come in are just curious. They're not looking to sell right away. They are just, and that's totally fine. I get them the video evaluation. I get them signed up on the HomeBot. So they're getting that monthly report on how the market is changing. And then I let it go because we're not a high pressure. That is something that a lot of the other agencies, the heavy hitters that have been around for 30, 40 years in our area, that's what they do. And there's a certain subset of people that it drives them nuts and they hate it. So they're the people that we are seeing come to us. And I think I make it very clear. It's just my husband and I. We are a 2-person brokerage. We don't need to close 10 deals every single month. That would be awesome, but we also want to have some sanity and family time. So we're happy just to have, these couple of deals. If we can close a couple in a month, that's great. If we close 1 in a month, that's awesome. Like we're very content to just be here to provide a service and make sure that we can support our family. Like that's That's the bare minimum. We try not to get greedy is kind of how we look at it.
Love what I'm hearing. Always be serving, not always be closing, right? Always be serving.
Right.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing, Jean. All right. More shares, or I could go into a couple new features, new ads.
Let me piggyback something real quick that I was laughing because Gene, you brought out something that no one ever talks about, but they should. You're after the deal. You know, we hear the stats, it's proof how many people would have worked with their agent again had they stayed in contact. So one of the notes or questions or thoughts people might want to take out of the group today is, what is your closing follow-up on deals you've closed? Do you have something going so that you are touching them, following them? I still leave them in a home bot, so at least I got that monthly touch. But the whole referral thing out of StreetText, the way it works, just staying in touch. And the other thing, Gene, that you said was really good. Too many people ask for too much too quick. You can't send the first email going, hey, let's sell your house. When are we meeting? Boom. You need to lead in. We always talk about the relationship, service, you know, giving something out before you get something back. So if you're running a funnel that is a one-step funnel that says, okay, let's meet, you're killing your own self on this. You need to stretch it out. Give them something before you ask for something back.
Well said. Gene, do you have anything you do to stay in touch with them after the sale?
We've literally become friends with all of the clients that we've had. So we'll send text messages, and a lot of times they talk to us about the plans that they have for remodeling or making it their own, which is a big one because my husband and I come from a property maintenance, remodel, house flipping kind of background as well. So they'll ask for our opinions on stuff, or we'll be like, hey, we'd love to see the progress, you know, love to see how you've made it your own, text us some pictures, or we'd happy to stop by and take a peek. And that really works out well, just to be able to touch base and see how things are going. Or like we have one that, you know, kids change school districts, and then the school year started, and my daughter was changing schools at the same time. And so we just sent a little quick thing, but like, hey, how are the kids liking their new school, and thinking about them today on the first day, and that sort of stuff. And that it just really makes all the difference. But you know, again, for small town, I think it's so much different because, I mean, I'll go to Walmart and I'll see the people that we've been, you know, talking with and listing their house, or we're helping them to buy. And that's nice to have that personal interaction. It's a little bit easier because you do see people in small towns, not like the big city. But just, we try to make sure that we're keeping it personal and checking in and making sure that things are going well for them. And I love it when they start remodeling, because then we get to come by and we get to see all the changes that they make. And that just, I'm Snoopy like that. I like to see people's houses. So perfect industry, right?
100%.
Hey
Awesome.
guys, this is Missy. How are you?
Missy? Good.
Hey, we started a past client Facebook page. We've not nurtured it like we should, but this might be something to have them dump in their rehabs or the new dog or the new baby or whatever, just to have them all in one group might be something that will work for some of y'all too. That's it.
It's a great idea. So like a group, a small group.
Yeah. Just
Perfect.
your Facebook, Walden team past clients or whatever is what we have. And, you know, you never know. Some of ours actually know each other too. So that's kind of cool. And then they do want to show off what they've done to the house, you know, so it's kind of a fun thing for them to play in that box too. So
I love it. And you can do client appreciation events there. You can talk about different things going on around the area. It could be a lot of opportunities to create value.
Marcus,
and you know, with this COVID stuff, I'm sorry, I said with this COVID, even we've had people maybe reach out that have lost their job, that in that same group. We have a huge federal population here too, so a lot of times they've helped other people send their resume in, or you know, and that's something too we can do. You know, you guys send your resume to us, and we know so many people, you know, we're like a people bringer together group. So that might be another thought process too for that group of people too, to help each other find new jobs as they've been their positions have been eliminated.
Thanks for sharing, Missy. Campbell, what were you going to say there?
Hey, A quick way of accomplishing that where you don't have to set up a Facebook group is to do a custom audience with your previous clients. You can put them into a list within your personal Facebook, and then you can do stuff with them very quickly. You can always encourage them to get to your business Facebook page, but I find it's always easier to catch them on a personal level than on a business level.
Oh yeah, I love the friends list. We can talk about that entirely. Let me share my screen real quick, guys, and show you a new ad that we're finding some great success with. A couple new features. One, you'll start noticing that there's notifications both on your conversations and contacts now. So notifications both for new contacts coming in that you need to review and conversations that are happening that you need to review from the AI. So take note of those two new notifications because that's awesome. And that'll keep you in touch with those people, as well as a brand new template called the new construction lead ad. And so this is, brand new and an opportunity to use for new construction. And it's super easy to set up. You just click select and build it. Just gotta go through the promptings with the redirect. But yeah, those are the two new features. Anybody have questions about those? Yes, sir.
Is there a chance you guys will ever get an IDX link? Are you trying to do that, or is that something that's attainable for you all?
It would be very difficult for us being a centralized company where we are. We would then need to have MLS access in all different jurisdictions and boards and access to everybody's different database in a sense in that way. So it wouldn't be overly feasible for us to be able to provide that at this time. And so kind of what we're suggesting to people to do is you can just use the MLS or if you have obviously something through your own website, you can use that, or just go into MLS. And if anybody else is doing this a different way, obviously correct me and let me know kind of, how you guys are doing it. But the way that I would suggest doing is simply go into MLS, create a search there, copy that URL and go from there, or just take your leads as they come through and set them up on individual searches so you can see it and have a bit more access to what they're doing. But yeah, I guess from our side, we would have to have access to basically every board out there in order to be able to facilitate that.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a question on the new construction side.
Yeah.
What do you suggest? Like we have Toll Brothers out here. We have a couple of different builders. How do I get this list that I'm offering?
Logan, what's been your experience on that?
Huh?
I'm calling on Logan for this one.
Okay.
Same thing. I mean, and again, we probably have some other people who are using it more recently than I've been building my own IDX links and everything, obviously. So there might be somebody else who would be able to give you that. But I would suggest, again, when you go into MLS, there's all sorts of different checkboxes that you can select, and new construction should be one of them. So that would be essentially the area I would go with, is just go with that. If you have a builder or somebody that you have a good relationship with, right, then that would be different. And then you can even start saying you could do pre-construction, obviously, and you could start talking about things where you're helping, sell the land. And this is a little bit of an aside, but when people have land to sell, this is always my recommendation as well, is don't just sell the land, sell what goes on the land. You can start selling, hey, the dream of home ownership and building your own home. Oh, it just so happens I have this nice little parcel of land in this little area that you should consider building that home on. But if you've developed a partnership with any of these builders, then approach them directly and see what you can use and, synergistically, if you want to call it that, and see if you can figure something out. Otherwise, yeah, I think pre-construction should just be a checkbox within MLS.
I know that here in Las Vegas, our MLS has a section for new home source, and you can go in there and you can do searches just like you would in the MLS. You can do something that's still in planning, something that has model homes, that has ready to build, and you can play with the bedrooms and the price and all of that as well. So I assume most MLSs across the US probably have that.
Go for it, Kim.
One thing that I've done, I haven't incorporated it into my StreetText ads, but you guys just gave me that idea to do it. But I have domain names like Central Coast, Homes on Acreage, and they're pointed to squeeze pages within KV Core. So I just, predefine my criteria. It's like 2 acres or more, and I run ads behind that. And it pops out I'll run Facebook ads behind it. So I'm going to incorporate that into a StreetText ad. And it's just pointing a domain name to that squeeze page, but it's the same thing. Predefined, criteria within your MLS is the same thing as KV Core squeeze page. But the cool thing with KV Core is you can track all that. You can see what they're looking at, and they have to log in after so many clicks. So pretty cool stuff.
Hey, Richard, just a word of caution, because I think you're here in Southern California with me, is there's not a lot of builders that are cooperating with brokers because of market conditions. And I know in our MLS, you're not going to find, and it's a great idea to look in the MLS first, but not many builders are marketing through the MLS, again, because they're not cooperating. So I would be sure to contact some of these builders directly to make sure before you start pushing out their information.
Awesome. Thank you.
Ultimately, we want to get paid.
Yeah.
I would also just ask the lead, hey, are you interested only in new construction, or are you okay with newer or updated homes? And then you can start sending them regular listings too.
Yeah, it may be worth it just to target areas, right? So if you know there's new homes going up in a certain area, I guarantee you that, and again, I say guarantee, but I guarantee you that maybe 40% of the people that move into that new construction, they probably live within 5 to 7 miles. And if you can find that data, so what you want to do is you want to target the people who are looking to move, who have equity, or looking to probably move up or go into single story. Like there's some strategies behind it, but I think that's where you got to wrap your head around. It may not be the new construction, but it's about the individuals that are going to move into that area. And you have a radius you have to target. It's actually a strategy I'm mapping out right now pretty comprehensively. And I'm going to play with that probably over the next week or two. I've almost got it wrapped up, and then I'm going to launch it because there's a lot of new development around me. Even the idea in Phoenix, there's been permits for 1,800 new construction areas, new homes. So new homes are taking off. Well, people got to move in there. Where are they coming from? And I'm pretty certain they're coming within a defined radius. And then you have to figure that out, and then you start targeting.
That's smart, because if you're going to be going and moving into a new construction home, theoretically you have an asset to sell already, right? Not all that often does somebody go from not being a homeowner into their first home being a new construction property. It does happen, of course, but I would say it's quite rare. Whereas, like you're mentioning there, if there's a pocket or a burgeoning area that's growing, look in and around that area for people who don't want to leave where they are because they have their lives are set up there. Their kids are in school. They work there. So if they're moving, a short distance away, a short throw over to this new growing area, they most likely have an asset to sell within, an appropriate radius. So I think those are wise words as well.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to jump on with me, because I'm a numbers guy, there's got to be an algorithm behind this, and I've been thinking about this, and I've got a little bit of data, but not a ton, working with title companies, because part of it's going to be children, right? Part of it's going to be upsizing or downsize age. Part of it's going to be equity. Like I have to build algorithms around this, because if you do a 5 to 7 mile radius, that's huge, and that's a lot of homes, and you can't pinpoint everybody. So you sort of got to play with it and say, okay, who are the most likely candidates that we believe will be ready to make that move?
That's true. And then you also got to
consider good video, though.
Yeah, consider that too.
Like a good video.
I got a whole. So I just changed brokers. As Leon knows, I just changed brokers. Me and Leon spent a lot of time on the phone over the past month or so. And from talking to Leon, from talking to my new broker, talking to new title companies, I have this whole new concept. And my whole thing is, and I'll tell you guys, I have not been successful. I've had one sale in 9 months, but I own that 100%. That's not the brokerage. That's not you guys. It's not StreetText. It's me. It's 100% me, right? So one of the things, because I've always been very innovative in my past career. And so what I found in real estate is everybody was teaching me, go where the ball has been. And I'm a hockey guy. I'm not a football guy, but I'm a hockey guy. And you look at Wayne Gretzky, he always says 2 things. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But the one that's more important to me is go where the play is going, not where it's been. And I find in this industry, everybody is going where the play has been. And nobody's going to where it's going. There's very few. So I really thought about that. And I think I've figured out a strategy, don't know if it'll work or not, on how to get there. And so I have a couple of neat concepts and ideas that I'm sort of playing with right now. And I'm probably going to launch in the next month, and we'll see how it goes. I roll the dice and see what happens, man.
Love it.
Hey, get with me sometime in the next week or so. I've got some thoughts to go with your stuff.
Sorry, what was that, Leon? I missed it.
I said, get with me in the next week or so. I've got some thoughts to go with what you're doing.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I'm going to do some videos. I'll shoot you guys a bunch of stuff as I sort of build this out. Like I said, I just got to do a little bit more homework on this and build it out. So,
yeah. And share all this within the Insider Group community. And I'll make sure to pin it in the announcement section. And we'll tag people in it, and we'll make sure that, you know, the discussion just grows. That's the best place. When all this stuff that we're talking about in these masterminds, you know, post it directly while it's top of mind. I always say, make sure you're taking one thing from this mastermind you're going to implement it today. And I hope you guys have found one thing. Let's stop right now before we go any further. What's the one thing that you're going to take away from this mastermind today and implement? Is it going to be Wendy's sports magnet ad? Yeah. How many are you going to do that?
I am. I'm in Seahawk fanatic land.
Absolutely.
100%.
I missed that, but I promise you I'll be going back to look at it because we're looking at doing more stuff with sports also.
Campbell, where are you located again?
I am in Atlanta. I've already started a Facebook post.
Okay, so you're doing the Atlanta Falcons magnet.
Well, now, hang on, Marcus. Here's what I did. I put up a post on Facebook right after the first weekend of college football and before the pros started. I said, okay, here are my predictions for my two favorite teams for this year. My beloved Georgia Bulldogs are going to win the SEC East and play for national championship. My Atlanta Falcons, I think, are going to disappoint us again. What do you think your favorite team is going to do? So I've started doing that, and I'm getting ready to put out another update today.
I love it. So
how the season's going.
So my idea for you would be the magnet with the Georgia Bulldogs schedule and the Atlanta Falcons schedule side by side.
They will be the polar opposite of one another. That is a fact. The Bulldogs could beat the Falcons this year. I promise you.
Oh, I love it. All right. Hey, what else? What else? What are we going to do? What's our takeaway? We're going to start sending Starbucks cards. What are we going to do? So think about that, guys.
I'm going to go show up at all the new construction in my area for sure.
It's good.
I'm going to start explaining CMAs via video. I love that idea.
And remember, short is better. And like I said, the other edition, if, you know, just they say a tweak, that's why we call it split testing. I would suggest if you're not telling people check the spam folder for the emails, go back and touch on them, because the question you got to ask is, how many people did you not get? And I always try to remind people, a lot of people use a junk email. So if you have not followed up with a text out to people, do that. And in your follow-up script, add the part of asking what's the best email. Because you'd be surprised, I shouldn't say be surprised, but you'd be surprised when you turn around and the email they give you that's their best email is not the one they have down. So, you know, we always say tagging, make it a point to update your database. I put notes in mine as well so that when I go back, I remember that conversation I had a month or two ago, and they love your memory that you have, that you remembered something. They don't realize you're working off notes.
Hey, and one thing we need to add to your conversation about email is that we all need to recognize that real estate emails get thrown into spam by almost every major carrier out there. I know for a fact Yahoo, AOL, and Hotmail are horrible about it. We've even had Gmail filter our own email from one domain to another that we pay for within this, which was crazy.
Hello, how y'all doing?
How are you?
What can I get y'all started off to drink?
Oh, no. Hey, yeah, I'll take a
Pumpkin spice latte.
I'll take a grande pike and a venti cup topped with steamed heavy wet, please. Another idea, guys, is if you get the phone number, okay, and you're setting the home value, and you're doing that great screen recording, why not just follow up with the video text just to make sure they got it, right? Because a lot of you just don't pull out your phones and you have their phone number already. And you can just click on the camera, the video button, and keep it short and sweet, 20 seconds, just checking in, making sure you got it, pointing them back to that email, just to get some feedback, right? So This is the free thing that we talk about all the time. If you have their phone number, use it. And I would, Wendy, I would do like a canned message with all those numbers and just be like, you know, especially the ones you already sent to. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know, right? Just a quick video, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste.
Yeah. Good idea. I know.
Awesome.
I like it because we tagged them all, you know, so we tagged them all as Raider Vegas night schedule. And then when I sent them, I tagged it in my CRM sent Raider calendar or whatever. That way, you know, you can keep track because it gets very confusing. Did I send that? Because they're already in the mail. I don't know if I sent it, you know, so make sure you're tagging and everything so that you know if you did it or not. Because yeah, they're just kind of rolling in really fast. And when you're out and about showing houses and I'm screenshotting, sending it to myself so I don't forget to do it when I get back, you know. So it's been fun, but love it. And the hockey guy, whatever, we have hockey ones too. And it's funny because you miss 100% of the shots you never take right on there. So you need to get some of these.
You're amazing.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Wendy, another thought too with that video is just to send a quick video highlighting the Monday Night Football dramatic win.
Oh my gosh. I should have videoed me in the last overtime. But yeah, I'm excited there's that many Raider fans. I really didn't think I would have that many. That's why I also ordered just these, just in case people didn't like them. I think if we ran the hockey ones though, I'd probably get 10 cents an email.
Try it.
Especially right now. I mean, we're approaching hockey season. We're only it's like 28 days away or something like that. It's soon. So I'd get your hockey ones out there soon.
Yeah. The thing about hockey, it's a small, tight-knit community, and they are very well connected, and they leverage each other a ton because it's a smaller community.
And hockey is also a very expensive sport to play and put your kids in. So people who like hockey, they typically have a lot of money. So it's not a bad client to have.
I used to spend 10 to 20 grand a year on my kids' hockey. That's how expensive it is.
Yeah, it's not cheap. I was a goalie. I felt bad for my parents growing up. Not a cheap sport.
My parents had me, my younger brother and older brother, who all played house level hockey and then travel hockey. And they were paying, it was roughly 70 to 80 grand a year, just in ice time, equipment, travel. For the three of us, it was craziness. So yeah, definitely go after your hockey parents for sure.
Isn't it amazing that MMA grew when hockey stopped fighting?
That's because they no longer had to go to a hockey game to have a fight break out. You just go straight to the MMA.
Absolutely. Now they go to a fight to watch a fight break out.
Watch junior hockey. There's still some good scraps, I'll tell you.
Got it.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for attending the Mastermind. Is there anything else that you are curious about, have a conversation, or want a question, anything particular that we can highlight while we got everybody here? Yes.
I have a question. On some of the ads that we have in StreetText, is there a way to make it a video ad, like the actual ad instead of having an image?
You know, we've had a lot of discussions about video ads. Video ads are better purpose as a retargeting tool and not as a disrupt your audience and meet someone that's brand new tool. Okay. So you just, that's the facts based on what our research shows us. So if you've built relationships with these people, that's the time to go redirect a video towards them to stay top of mind. So I would just continue working the lead ads as well. I mean, similarly to what Wendy does, and she's got some, you know, she does the home value ad. Home value ads are naturally a little bit more competitive, right? You might want to try a few different images in there. Take some organic and native images, whether they're drone footage looking down, other homes, that type of thing. It doesn't have to be the map. The map is something that is a great foundation to work with, but the beauty behind the What's Your Home really worth funnel is that you can add anything in there. So consider running some buyer lead ads and some other lead ads, new construction ads. Try a few different things to see how, you know, you can get a really nice cost per lead coming through.
And keep in mind that video ads take 2 clicks to generate a lead, right? If they click on your ad and they watch your video and they really liked the content of the video, then they close it down, then they hit the learn more button, and it might work in that fashion. So for a video ad to work perfectly, the information that you're disseminating needs to be in the video, and the call to action isn't leave me your information. It's show up at my open house or meet me at this location at this time. So the video entices that individual to do what you're hoping they do, as long as it's not leave me your information. Because again, if you're not wowing them in that 10-second, 40-second, whatever it is video, they close it out and they're gone. You paid for a click and you don't get a lead up.
Yeah, that makes sense. What I tried about 2 weeks ago is I went live on Facebook and did a screen share, and I saw who was coming up on my chat, and I'm like, hey, Howard, this is what houses are going on in Burbank. I opened up the MLS there. People started to watch it, you know. So I don't know
That's
if
not
I
a
want-
video ad, but that is genius though. That's different. That's curating a live audience and giving them real information as a real individual. That's different. That's not a video ad, but that's definitely a sounds like a strong strategy for sure.
So I love Mexican food. You know, I'm in SoCal, and my idea is, which I ran by my wife, I'm like, look, I'm going to do a Facebook Live at 5 on Friday, best Mexican restaurants. I'm going to go live and I'm going to pull the houses that are around that restaurant and say, hey, everybody, you like salsa and beer? This is what houses are going. You can live walking distance from this restaurant if you like food like me, you know? So I don't know. It's just an idea I want to throw out there and kind of try and just do it and see what happens. Like the guy said, no shot. If you don't take the shot, you can't hit.
Now you're making me hungry. I love Mexican food.
When COVID first hit, I did wine with Wendy on Wednesday. And we would just go live and people would just drink wine with me and talk about whatever, sometimes real estate.
Yeah, when you open the MLS though, and you have that map view, you know, sprawling out, and you just start clicking on homes, I don't think I can click on active ones because they're not my listing, and I'm blasting them out through Facebook. So if I stick with the solds and then cycle through the pictures and talk about it, I mean, I don't know, it could turn into a thing, you know?
You never know until you try.
Yeah.
Certainly not going to hurt.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I would say don't forget the influence you have personally on Facebook already. I think a lot of people forget with all these ads that you're running, you should be sharing them within your personal networking groups. And then going live from time to time is a smart thing to do too. Remember, you're an influencer, whether you know it or not. Right? So create influence organically, create influence through paying Facebook, continue the influence through video. Just do it.
Yeah, I go live with when I'm playing my guitar. I don't know if you've seen me, but I get a lot of comments on that.
I do. I watch it.
So
I love it.
Oh, real quick before everybody signs off here, I should have mentioned this earlier. If you get any kind of notification from Facebook in regards to copyright notifications or anything, as with anything, the smartest thing to do, go directly to the source. If you got a message from your bank saying, hey, I need you to log into your bank account so that we can, dispute this charge, you're not going to click that link. You're going to call your bank and say, hey, bank, what's going on with this? Did you send me this information? This is the same thing, because what's happening is people are getting sent these different little scam texts and emails and all sorts of things, and they're very, very good right now. And it's saying you're in violation of some copyright thing or some ad that you just launched. And obviously for people who are doing a lot of advertisements, it's normal to then say, okay, yeah, I'm going to dispute this, and you dispute it right there in the email. Don't do it right now. Go to Facebook, go to support and start your process right there, because you're probably going to go there. They're going to say, well, there's nothing wrong with your account. You're fine. Do not click on those links that you're getting from in email or text message right now. Okay. That's something we're seeing a lot of. And what they're doing, as soon as they get access, they're removing you as an admin. So you can't even dispute it anymore. Right. It's becoming a bit of an issue. So it's not coming just to StreetText clients. It's happening in Facebook in general. So just be wary of that and know that that's happening. Yeah,
Copy
Brandon,
copy and paste the fraudulent thing so support sees what it is.
Yeah, we got in the group. We'll but definitely draw more attention to it.
It's crazy.
Here's another example of one right here that Aiden just tossed up there.
Yeah, so take a look at those guys. Just be aware.
So
yeah,
just
they're
be
pretty
careful.
good. They look pretty legitimate. Unfortunately, it's not the Nigerian prince scam anymore. They're becoming a lot better than they were once upon a time. So
Yeah, when in doubt, take a screenshot, share it in the group.
We're also having some like people, it's just funny because we're getting more tech savvy, us as the consumer. So we were joking the other day that some people were messaging with our Julie and they were asking skill testing questions. Are you a robot? This plus this, what does it equal before I respond to you? Trying to figure out if you're a human or not. So that's just a testament though too to our follow-up is people are becoming suave to the fact that there's robots and things. So humanizing things and making mistakes and all of that is a great way to make sure you humanize your messaging. Because I've done it with a couple people I know. They've messaged me on Facebook and I'm like, a young guy I know. And I said, is this really Zach? Who's your mother? Like, and I asked him a bunch of skill testing questions because I'm like, he's young. He doesn't use Facebook. No, I use Facebook, to keep in touch with my older friends. And I'm like, well, now you're calling me older, kid. It just goes to show you though, people are starting to get like, they're aware of these bots behind things. So just that personalizing messaging is so important because of the fact that people are like looking twice at things now because there is so many scams going on out there. I just posted in the insider group, Shay did up an awesome little effective follow-up strategy PDF with some ideas in there for some of our most common ads. So feel free to click on that and download that. It's in the insider group as well. So
yeah, feel free to put in the announcement section. And when in doubt, guys, I try to put the most popular discussions in the announcement section. So yes, always look at that announcement section first and foremost just to see those posts. And yeah, have an awesome week, guys. Thanks for attending the mastermind. Post anything within the discussion feature of the group after this if you want more clarity on anything whatsoever we talked about. And try to find one thing to take away today. One thing to do. Thanks for coming.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.